Join Samantha and Hans at the next Macro to Micro Options Power Hour, held each Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Registration is free. Scan this QR code or click on the link in the description.
I'm Samantha LaDuc, founder of LaDucTrading.com, and joined by our mentor options mentor and educator extraordinaire in our LaDuc Trading service. And we want to welcome Hans Albrecht into this new year, since we haven't talked for a whole month.
That's right. Happy New Year.
A month ago, we were actually slated to do a Wednesday. I was sick as a dog with no voice. The next Wednesday was Christmas. Right after that, it was New Year's Day. So here we are. And we really haven't gone anywhere very fast. I mean, the market has really been a sloppy mess since the Trump bump back on November 5th. We really have been going sideways, kind of like a crazy Ivan move under the surface with the main index, while the breadth underneath has been deplorable. So something that I follow very closely from an intermarket standpoint. And today, so December 2nd is when it actually started. Today's actually finally where it reached a level where it could get supported. But there's also this saying, as you know, that markets don't crash from overbought, they crash from oversold. And this breadth destruction has been really intense as yields and dollar have moved higher. So I think we should get some stabilization, but it would not surprise me if we do a quick little, volley into the pre-Trump bump. Obviously, everyone's got eyes on that prize of the gap fill. I'm not trusting very much the jobless claims. I'm waiting for a much higher trigger to get really worried, 267,000. So until then, it's really just noise. I'm waiting for the signal. Continuous claims do continue higher. And then we did have headline jolts, which was looking good, but underneath the surface, it was not. So data day to day is not what grips me. What grips me is how the breadth underneath the surface of the market is still broken. So I wrote this Monday morning pre-market, markets in repair. I should say disrepair, but in other words,
Canada. You got the Canada on the screen there.
Yes, and Trudeau, of course, was the reason why the dollar literally on Monday had a big little snapback exactly at my 109.30, which is ironic, but 108 is surprise. So we're talking Dixie. This is the weekly. I know it looks messy, but the point is it's still very strong, and the market itself is not. So Mag 7 is still compensating with its strength for the headwinds that are growing. And that also includes yields. Now, I know I'm showing everyone right now the yield curve, the 10 and 2-year yield curve, but this was something that I obviously have very focused on. When I said September 18th, it's time for a yield spike. And then December 12th, ready for a yield spike. So this means that the 10-year yield is rising faster than the 2, and that's actually picking up speed. So now the market has gone into this chop zone because it is aware that the dollar is very bid. It's aware that the yield curve is steepening, which is putting literally term premia is positive, move volatility is picking up. And then you add to that, and you actually have oil that has come up off the ground. So when you kind of literally, it's trying anyway. This is crude oil chart. So when you start looking at Q1 2025, it's not really a great tarmac for a soft landing for corporate earnings when we talk about higher energy prices, higher financing costs, and then of course, higher dollar is very expensive when it comes to currency conversion. So overall, I am still focused on those three. At the same time, I can see that Mag 7, this is a ratio of Mag 7, right? So this is kind of imagine this is the Qs that have literally, since the January low, they've doubled. So Mag 7 is what is compensating for, in large part, this advance. You all know that, but if you want a reminder of that, here's another really great reminder, which is underneath the surface. Mag 7, 65% in 2024, of which S&P was 23 gain, which is very good, but that's because Mag 7 is such heavily, cap weighted. All the other SPY 493, we got maybe 5%. And that includes all the quantum and, all the AI and all the whatever. So the point is we still have a lot of, I would say, cover up by the strength of the Apple, the Amazon, the Nvidia. They have not, that sector, if we call it a sector, has not reversed. So this is still the problem. Underneath the surface, we still have weakness. Mag 7 is still holding up the market. in expectation that earnings will grow 10 to 15% in 2025, color me skeptical. And then, of course, we do have a rising dollar and yields, which is absolutely interrupting the bullish flow.
Join Samantha and Hans at the next Macro to Micro Options Power Hour, held each Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Registration is free. Scan this QR code or click on the link in the description. Watch the full Options Macro to Micro Power Hour episode by clicking on the video here and subscribe to LaDucTrading YouTube channel for more content.